Hey guys, it's SimQueen, and today I'm doing another speed build for the A to Z build challenge. This is for the letter L, and I chose No, that's not what I chose. I chose log cabin. There was a few options for the letter L, and one of the ones that I came across was lighthouse, which I really wanted to do. I love the idea of going to Brindleton Bay and building a lighthouse, but there's really no point without spiral staircases because you would just need, it wouldn't be small enough. It wouldn't be small enough. Like the whole base of the lighthouse would have to be very large in order to fit in a staircase, and I just knew it wouldn't look realistic. Without spiral staircases, I just didn't even want to try it. So maybe if we ever get spiral staircases, that's something that I can try. Another thing was lodge, but I feel like lodge and log cabin were kind of the same. And I did already do the chalet for the letter C, which sometimes you can see in the background of this build. This is in Granite Falls, and this, I wanted to kind of stay away from the theme I went for with the chalet. I know they're a little bit similar, but I also just, I don't know, I wanted to try a log cabin. The chalet was a lot more upscale and a bit fancier, and this is a little more rundown, but in a good way. Like, it's still very homey and cozy. I used the new roof that we got with Island Living, that kind of green, looks kind of rusted and like weathered and old. I like it a lot. I think it really suits a log cabin, so I went with that. I wanted to do a loft. I know I do a lot of lofts. I'm a little obsessed with them. I don't know why, I just love the way they look. Here I'm trying to place these little wall decorations that look like the ends of logs, but I couldn't pull it off. So I know some people can really do it in their builds, but for me, I did not. I couldn't do it. So I wanted to do a loft. This only has one bedroom. I know the last like 3 or 4 builds I've been doing have only had one bedroom, but I promise for the letter M, I will do a bigger house because I've just been making smaller houses and they're not that functional unless you're playing with one sim, which I never ever do. It's just, there's no point in even downloading it unless you want to renovate it and make it bigger. But I guess you could probably put a couple of bedrooms upstairs. They'd be a bit smaller though. For lofts, I like to keep it like fairly open and not have a bunch of walls and rooms. Anyway, so just kind of finishing the outside. I already liked the way that it looked. It looked like a realistic log cabin to me. And here I am just kind of, I think that I used like this wall, what is it, the wood paneling for the inside and the outside. And what's kind of funny about this build is I completely forgot to put in a bathroom. And like, you literally won't see me build one. I had to build an outhouse at the end because I completely forgot. I was inside taking the screenshots when I thought, this house is so spacious and like, it's so weird there are no rooms. There are no actual rooms. And then I thought, oh no, I have forgotten a bathroom. And I don't know how I did that. I've never forgotten a bathroom before. But for this one I got pretty carried away. And so I ended up building a little outhouse at the back of the house. And it's got everything. It's got a shower and a toilet and a sink. So yeah, your Sims would have to go outside. I thought that this house would be like an older cabin and it's been here for a long time. Maybe there's been a few things updated, but the bones of it are pretty much the same as they've always been. And I tried not to use anything too fancy or shiny or new because it didn't really suit the build that well. I like the idea of this kind of almost L-shaped island. This house is not player tested. I assumed everything would work, but I'm not so sure about that island with the chairs. I don't actually know if your Sims can sit there. I just like the look of it, and I wanted to try something a little bit different. Every now and then I get this idea in my head and then I have to try it, and that's what this was. And then I use those little mason jars to go above the island as well, those little lights, which I really like. And I thought this house was very, very cute. I'm super happy with how it turned out. I have been building like crazy lately and mostly just doing kind of smaller builds because I'm doing a ton of pre-recording. I'm recording 3 weeks in advance. All my videos are recorded up until August 1st because I'm going away for 3 weeks, and this video isn't even coming out until July 29th, and that's like literally 3 weeks away from this point in time. So I've been a little bit busy and building like crazy. I will literally build a house, save it, put it on the gallery, and go to another world and start another build right away. I think I did 3 builds in one day, which is a lot. This one only took like an hour though, so it wasn't too bad, maybe an hour and a half. So it wasn't too bad, but the next one, letter M, I think is going to be a pretty big house. So I'm definitely a little bit nervous for that, but I don't have to worry about it until I get back from vacation, which is nice. Same idea that I did with this chalet is I had like the fireplace and then the brick behind it went all the way up to the second floor. I did that again. I thought it looked kind of nice. And I used the curtains that came with Island Living for all the double pane windows, which I think looked really nice. And I played around with the kitchen table and chairs, and I think I changed it a few times. I wasn't exactly sure what I wanted. I chose those wicker ones, didn't really like them. Just ended up going with these ones from Base Game, but I may have changed the color of them. I can't exactly remember. Those lamps, by the way, the standing lamps that came with, not Jungle Adventure, Outdoor Retreat. Those are, interestingly enough, my favorite lamps in the entire game. They place nicely. I like the way they look, and they have not a lot of light to them. So that sounds like I said not a lot of light. I'm saying they do have a lot of light. They actually light up a room really nicely. So I use them a couple of times, and yeah, I really like those lamps. Those are my favorite lamps, and I'm always excited when I actually get to use them and they fit a build. So that's it for the main floor. Now we're upstairs into the bedroom. I was going to call it the main bedroom, but it's the only bedroom. Again, using stuff from Outdoor Retreat as much as possible. I don't really care for this swatch that I use, the wooden, almost like a deep red color. I don't use that very often, but I was just trying to stray away from the same old stuff that I always use. So I did go with this color in this case. There's like a little love seat across from the bed, and I think I just put in some blue curtains, which are like a little bit tacky, but in a good way. Like that's kind of what I was going for, that tacky look. This whole place to me is outdated. I can see this property being like passed down for a few generations, and like families just come here to camp. I also put a tent in the backyard. I actually ended up replacing it with the outhouse, but if you want more Sims to stay on this lot, you can put smaller beds upstairs first of all if you want. You can put a whole bunch of singles or a couple of doubles. You can definitely get more Sims to be able to sleep in this house. Or you can also add tents outside around the lot, which I've done before. Whenever my Sims travel and they don't all fit in the house, I just put tents outside and it works just fine. So this little back deck area, I put a barbecue, and I think I put a couple of chairs out there as well. And I did put a fire pit with some chairs around it because, I mean, it's a lot in Granite Falls, so I felt like you kind of needed it. In a minute here, you'll see me place that tent, but it's not going to be in the screenshots because it later gets replaced with the outhouse. I cannot believe I did that. I can't believe I forgot it. I've forgotten things like garbage cans, and I think I've even forgotten a sink one time, or a mailbox, but I have never forgotten a bathroom. That is pretty bad. Now just kind of landscaping a little bit, putting in some bushes and trees, and I think that you'll see me go back to the front yard and add a few things to that front porch as well. And I think that is pretty much it. Oh, a little table back here too with the umbrella and the chairs, and just build up the backyard a little bit, or the front yard a little bit with some more trees. And that is pretty much it for this build. If you enjoyed this speed build, please give it a thumbs up, comment down below, let me know what you think, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. Thanks for watching.